Welcome back, 7th graders. This is part 2 of our self-portrait PowerPoint. I apologize it's so long, we just have a lot to cover. As I was saying before the last video ended, why is it important for an artist to write an artist statement? As I was critiquing that work before about where it was half color, half black and white, I could have been completely wrong about what I thought the artwork was about. And an artist statement would basically just tell the viewer what the artist was actually trying to express. So you have a clear idea of where the artist was going in their process, what they were trying to express, and just how the artist came to the final conclusion through their initial thought process and the actual artistic process for the final result. It just gives a clear representation of what the artist's intent was. All right, so moving forward. All right, how to draw a self-portrait using a box grid. This is very important because this explains all the steps. There's another video that explains the steps of the self-portrait using a program called Sketchbook, but this is just the PowerPoint step-by-step. This might be enough for some, it might be simpler for others. So step 1, you'll take a selfie using your iPad only. Please do not download stuff from Instagram or other social media sites. Please just take a self-portrait a selfie using your own iPad camera. So I did that here. Then you can, once you've saved your photo, you can edit it to be a grayscale. You don't have to, but it makes it easier when you're adding the grid on Sketchbook to see the grid lines and to see the edge lines of your subject, of your face, of all the details. So once you've taken your selfie, you've made it black and white, you'll then draw a 1-inch grid over your image in Sketchbook. Again, you're going to watch the video self-portrait lesson to show you step-by-step how to do that. This is just a quick walkthrough. Step 4, you'll draw your portrait box by box on your pastel paper. Please use that grainy, kind of grayish paper to do this project. If you don't use that paper, the pastel won't be able to blend and smooth very easily. So here's an example of me with a grid on my photo, and imagine this was my piece of paper and there was a grid on that. This would have been white, but then step by step I would have drawn the lines box by box. I would have looked at box A1, A2. If I'm looking at box A2 and A2, I'm just trying to line up where the lines intersect in the graph. So the edge of my head here is near the corner. Oops. So it's just like this. I'm trying to draw exactly the same. After you've drawn it, you erase the grid. So the grid obviously would need to be drawn lightly. Please make sure you draw the grid very lightly on your final paper so that it can be erased and no one will ever know the grid is there. If I can still see the indentation of your grid because you pressed very hard with your pencil, then that would of course affect the overall craftsmanship, so please be careful with that. Lastly, you'll add color with your oil pastels. You're going to add a colorful detailed background also to help convey a message or mood to the viewer. So this would be a good background for me since I'm an art teacher and it shows, some kind of the art bulletin board behind me with words and definitions. You can do any kind of background you want that expresses you. And this is the last slide, I believe, but I mentioned downloading Sketchbook, which you're going to need. So before you watch the video of how to basically use Sketchbook to create the grid, download this icon from your student app portal. It'll be this orange box with a pencil. If you don't already have it, just download that. And if you have any issues downloading it, just let me know. Usually there's some ways to troubleshoot that. But this is the last slide. I hope these slides were helpful and help you understand the vocabulary and the objectives and lesson steps. Please message me if you guys need anything at all, and I will see you in class.